Hello.
Hi.
We had a user today who wasn't quite sure about how reduce worked and asked if we could help.
It was me.
It was not Selma, but Selma was so kind to say, I also don't know how really reduce works. I decided I wanted to try and explain it by creating a reduce explainer. And so I made this app.
School me, Andreas.
Reduce steps through an array, and at each step you apply a formula to the current item in the array, as well as the accumulator.
You see, this is the problem. The word accumulator is not in normal language. So what does it even mean?
It means a value that keeps changing as we update it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense unless you need a specialized tool to understand it, like a reduce explainer. When you use reduce, whether you use it in JavaScript or Node-Craft or any of the other many languages that have them, you normally give it like an array, a function, or in our case, a formula, and then you give it like an initial value for the accumulator. And in this case, we are giving it an array of the numbers 1 to 8. The formula of function we're using is one that just adds the item and the accumulator together, and the initial value for the accumulator here is 0. What happens here is that the first item moves down into the formula. We're then adding that to the accumulator because that's what our function or formula does. And as a result, we get this 1, right? Because the initial value is 0. We add the value 1, and we get 1.
1 plus 0 equals 1. I understand.
Excellent. Selma is still with us. Let's try and do the next step. There's 2 things that happens here. One thing that happens is the number 2 moves down onto the item place, but also the value that was in the result moves into the accumulator. And this is usually the part that makes people really struggle with reduce, because the accumulator changes every step, and it's always
mutable.
It is not mutable.
It changes.
It's not mutable, yes, but it's technically a new function called, and therefore a new value called accumulator. That's not important at all, but it is technically not mutable.
Cut that from the video.
No, we're keeping it in. What happens is the next time this reduce will then call that function or formula you gave it again for the second element array. And this time, instead of using the initial value you gave it for the accumulator, it's going to use whatever result it produced the first time. So now we have the accumulator from the first step is 1. We're adding 2 to it to get... You were really good this last time, Selma.
2 plus 1 equals 3.
Exactly. Let's do it one more time. And
Wait, let me see if I can guess the answer. So the result is going to become the accumulator. So the accumulator is going to be 3, and the new item is going to be 3. So the result is going to be 6.
Let's try. Broop.
Ding,
Exactly.
ding, ding.
And we can see when the animation, the result moved from over here into the accumulator. So every step, the result becomes the accumulator for the next iteration, right?
Got
and
it.
If we do it again, then we're getting 6 plus 4 equals 10. And then 10 plus 5 equals 15. 15 plus 6 equals 21. And 21 plus 7, 28. And finally, 28 plus 8 equals 36. And 36 is the number you will get out from a reduce if you give it an array that's the numbers from 1 to 8. And the function or formula you give it is adding the item and accumulator.
Now, obviously, it becomes a rabbit hole when the formula in the reduce formula is not just add, and it's more complex than that, but maybe that's for another time.
That would require a whole different reduce explainer. But as Selma says, it's absolutely right. You can put any formula into a reduce. So you can use this also to find the smallest number in a list, whereby you just always return the smallest one of the accumulator and the item. Then eventually you'll find the smallest item in the list. You can use to find the largest. You can use it for all sorts of things. You can also have the result be an array and add stuff to that array. So reduce is it's called reduce because what it does is it reduces an array into a value using this formula. But what that value is, what the array contains, that's entirely up to you. So it's a very, very flexible. But the key here is to understand that in every step, the result of the previous iteration, the previous step, becomes the accumulator in the next one.
We just need a new name for accumulator. It sounds like a nonsense word. It's made up.
It is made up.
Doesn't mean anything.
Add to the comments what the new name for accumulator should be, and we'll try to get it approved by the International Federation of Programming.
And it's more likely to be approved if you like this video also.
That's how that works, yes.